Hey there, Paleontologist Pals. Can you dig what we're going to be learning about this week? It's all about dinosaurs. And we're going to find out why we don't see dinosaurs outside today, how we figured out what they look like, and the name of scientists who study dinosaurs. That's called a paleontologist. Can you say paleontologist? I'm dressed up like a paleontologist, and these are my two friends, Penny Paleontologist and Polly Paleontologist. We'll find out what they're doing in just a little bit. Right now, let's talk about why we can't see dinosaurs outside right now. If you look outside, do you see a giant Brachiosaurus with his long neck up higher than the trees? No. Do you see a Stegosaurus with his spiky tail? No. Do you see a giant T-Rex and hear his roar? No, that would be really silly if we could see those dinosaurs today. Dinosaurs are not alive anymore. There are not any dinosaurs at all on Earth left. That means they're extinct. Can you say extinct? Good, that means there's no more left. And they actually died millions of years ago. What people believe is that an asteroid, a space rock, hit the Earth and it killed all the plants, which killed all the dinosaurs that eat plants because there were no more to eat. And then all of the dinosaurs that eat meat, that eat the other dinosaurs, didn't have anything to eat either, and they became extinct. Their bones went into the ground and actually got smushed under layers and layers of dirt, rock, and mud and became stone. When a bone turns to rock or stone, that's a special thing called a fossil. Can you say fossil? Here's some examples of fossils. And if you want, you can go to the museum and see fossils that are put together like a puzzle. The paleontologists found the bones of the dinosaurs in the ground and then put the pieces together like a skeleton puzzle. And some of them are in museums for us to go and look at. That's pretty neat. We could see how tall they were and big, much bigger than us, although some of them were small as a duck or a cat or dog. Pretty neat, huh? A paleontologist has special tools. They usually have a magnifying glass, a pickaxe for rocks to chip into the rocks, a shovel to dig into the dirt, and my friend Polly behind me, he's using a brush. Once they get down to find the bones, they want to use a nice soft brush to dust away any dirt or sand that might be on top of the bones. Then they can safely get the bones out and put them together like a puzzle. Maybe you can help me put together a fossil skeleton and we can make a dinosaur. So this part of the skeleton looks like, that's right, a head or a skull. We said we have a skull under our head. That bone that's very hard, that's protecting our brain, that's the skull. And dinosaurs had a skull too. That was where their head is. Then they might find, using their brush and their shovel, a piece that looks like hands and ribs. We have ribs, we learned that too. And the spinal column, the back. So they would attach that with the head and the neck together. Then they found a piece that looks like feet. That's right, and hips, just like us, we have hips. There's a piece that looks like knees and feet. So they knew they would put this underneath down here. And then a long piece, what do you think that might be? A tail, that's right. Look, we made a dinosaur just like a real paleontologist, except ours is very small and the bones that paleontologists find are very large. Pretty neat, huh? Let's read a special book to see how fossils are made. Fossils tell of long ago. That means they can tell us what happened a long, long time ago. Once upon a time, a huge fish was swimming around when along came a smaller fish. The big fish was so hungry that it swallowed that fish whole. The big fish died and sank to the bottom of the sea. Did you know that this story actually happened 90 million years ago? How do we know? Because that fish turned into stone and made a giant fish fossil. Look, it's bigger than the children. The fish became a fossil. A plant or animal that has turned to stone is called a fossil. So there's not just dinosaurs that turned their bones into fossils. Sometimes we could see fossils of a fish or plants from long ago, like a leaf. They found a leaf fossil. Some fossils, like fish, are parts of plants or animals that have turned to stone. Sometimes a fossil is only an imprint of a plant or animal. So when they found the bones of the dinosaur, they found the real bones from inside the dinosaur's body. But sometimes a fossil can be just a print, like a footprint. That's right. Or the print of a leaf, or the print of a seashell. These are dinosaur tracks. They were made in fresh mud 125 million years ago. Sand filled the dinosaurs' footprints in the mud. Then many years later, the paleontologists came and dug up through the sand that turned into hard rock, and they found the footprint of the dinosaur. The sand hardened into rock called sandstone. Millions of years later, fossil hunters called paleontologists dug through the rock. They found the fossil tracks. It's an iguanodon. These footprints can help tell us a lot about the iguanodon. Scientists get clues about how big it was from the footprints and how fast it moved, and that it ran on 2 legs. That's pretty good information because some dinosaurs were on 2 legs, like the one behind me, and some of them were on 4 legs, like a brontosaurus or a brachiosaurus or a stegosaurus. Let's sing a special fossil song to remember what a fossil is. Fossils are from long ago, long ago, long ago. Fossils are from long ago, buried in the earth. Plants and animals turn to stone, turn to stone, turn to stone. Plants and animals turn to stone millions of years ago. Let's sing it one more time. Fossils are from long ago, long ago, long ago. Fossils are from long ago, buried in the earth. Plants and animals turn to stone, turn to stone, turn to stone. Plants and animals turn to stone millions of years ago. So the fossils can tell us clues about the dinosaurs. Because we don't have any real dinosaurs living today, paleontologists can use the clues that they get from fossils to make ideas about what each dinosaur ate, what they did, how they walked around, were they fast or slow, were they tall or short. Let's look at some skeletons so we could see what a real one might have looked like. So, here is the Apotasaurus. You can see he has a super long neck. That's why he was eating leaves from the tops of the trees. And he had a big long tail. So when they found the skeleton of the Apotasaurus, he had a big long neck and a big long tail. That's pretty neat. They could tell that he was giant because his bones were so big and his feet were so big too, and his long neck and his long tail. This is the Allosaurus. It's from the same family as the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Allosaurus was the best hunter of its time. It was 35 feet long and up to 2 tons in weight. That is really, really heavy. So it was big and it had sharp teeth and it was super scary to all the other dinosaurs. They knew that if the Allosaurus wanted to eat them, he definitely could with his big jaw and his big sharp teeth. But he had very short front arms, which means that he only walked with 2 feet. And he had a big long tail to balance so that he could walk on only 2 feet. So those are some of the clues we get from the fossils in the ground. Do you remember what that special scientist is called that studies things from long ago? A paleontologist. I'm a paleontologist and this is what I know. I study bones and fossils from creatures long ago. I put the bones together, a dinosaur you will see. This is how they looked, now come and learn with me. Let's sing it one more time, ready? I'm a paleontologist and this is what I know. I study bones and fossils from creatures long ago. I put the bones together, a dinosaur you will see. This is how they looked, now come and learn with me. So they will put them together like a puzzle, just like we did. We put our bone puzzle together to make a dinosaur. If they were just bones all floating around, they might not know. But usually they were in the ground together and they were able to put them together like a puzzle. Let's read a fun book about what it would look like if the dinosaurs were alive today. Giant bones and fossils show that dinosaurs lived long ago. But if a dinosaur or two came to your town, what would they do? That would be so silly if they came to town. Some might be as big as trucks, and some might be as small as ducks. So these were bigger than the cars, and these were small like a duck. Some might soar up in the sky, and some may never really fly. Some might thunder when they walk. That means their feet would be so heavy it would sound like thunder. Boom, boom. And some might roar instead of talk. Roar. Some might eat the tops of trees with their long neck look taller than the houses and the trees. Some might reach your house with ease. Whoa, look, his neck goes all the way up to the top of that building. If they could, they would. They might wander through the town at night. But of course, you know, dinosaurs lived long ago. That would be pretty silly. Imagine if we saw dinosaurs walking all around. They would be giant, and we would hear loud roaring sounds, right? Let's find fossils hidden away, dig them up without delay. Put the bones together again, one by one we work them in. When our work is finally done, we made a dinosaur skeleton. Try your best to make your own dinosaur skeleton and see which pieces match together to make the fossils turn into the shape of a dinosaur. Let's look at how that fish became a fossil. So the fish died and went down to the bottom of the ocean in the mud and went into the ground under the mud and became a skeleton. Then, after many, many years, layers and layers and layers of dirt and mud were growing on top of the skeleton. Pretty soon, the layers kept growing and growing, and many, many years after the fish even fell to the ocean floor, it wasn't even an ocean anymore because there was so much land building up on top of it. That's how the skeleton gets underneath the ground and stays as a fossil and turns to stone. The weight of the layers of mud pressed down, and slowly that mud turned to rock. As that happened, the groundwater seeped through the changing layers of mud. The minerals dissolved into the water, and then these minerals turn the bones into fossils. That's pretty cool. They turn them into stone, not just regular bones. They become fossil bones. Really cool. So, if you want to become a paleontologist, you just have to know a few things. You have to be able to look at things from long ago and use your thinking cap and put them together like a puzzle piece, and then use the clues to learn about and think about what those bones can tell you, like if a dinosaur stood on 2 feet or 4 feet. Those are different ways that paleontologists use the clues from the fossil bones to learn and teach us about dinosaurs. That's pretty cool. Let's sing our fossil song one more time. Fossils are from long ago, long ago, long ago. Fossils are from long ago, buried in the earth. Plants and animals turn to stone, turn to stone, turn to stone. Plants and animals turn to stone millions of years ago. There's more than one kind of fossil that we talked about. So a fossil like this is when the bones actually turn to rock and those bones become fossils, and then you put it together like a puzzle piece and make a whole skeleton. The other kind is when something is smushed into the ground and makes an imprint. That means that it makes like a hole, a mark. Like if you have Play-Doh and you stick your hand in it, you'll see your handprint. That's an imprint. So this one, like the footprint, is an imprint. That would be like if the dinosaur stepped with his foot into the mud. We might also see that with the plants. There might be a leaf. You could see the leaf like that. There's also other cool fossils that are not just in rocks. Actually, some paleontologists find fossils in the frozen ground of the Arctic, like this woolly mammoth was found in Siberia. That's a place that's very cold. And he was the king of the elephant family, and he froze into the ground in the Arctic. So they found his body was a fossil millions of years later. Also, millions of years ago, a fly was caught in the sticky sap of a tree. That sap became a fossil called amber. Amber looks like bright yellow glass, and it trapped the bug inside the amber. So we can learn different things about different fossils. There's also petrified forest. That means trees and wood that became a fossil. That means that they used to be a forest and now there's a desert. So they could tell us that millions of years ago it actually used to be a forest there. And if we find things like seashells where there's mountains, we know that there used to be an ocean there. So fossils can tell us lots of clues. That's pretty neat. All you need is your thinking cap, paleontologist pals. Thanks for coming along with me. I can't wait to learn more about dinosaurs with you.